telling you a bit about myself, uh, and I've sort of broken it down into thinking about myself in terms of who am I as a professional, who am I as a person, and I guess in my mind there are some fundamental things that define me. So in terms of values, if I start off with who am I as a professional, well, I'm a doctor, and I trained in, I did my MBS, I trained in medicine, and I was a surgeon for a long time. And then from surgery, I moved into public health. Uh, and in public health, I've been doing various things. So I've become an expert on various things. I'm, I'm an expert in public health. I'm an expert to some extent in data intelligence, on systems, on policy, how to use all of this to achieve goals, to improve people's lives and to touch people's lives. So that's sort of me in a professional sense. But also when I put it all together, I I'm a leader, and I lead on various things for my organization. So I've been working in public health England, and last week I moved into NHS England. So I've been leading on various things. I lead on cardiovascular disease, but more importantly, when I think of leadership, I'm not thinking merely in terms of topics, but I'm thinking of leadership in terms of leading by expertise, leading by the things that I can do, and leading in terms of having an influence on other people's lives. Uh, so that's me sort of in a professional sense. But as a person, I've been invited to talk, and I'm not sure if I've been invited to talk to you today because I'm a minority ethnic person or not, but I do see myself as Indian. I come from India. I'm a first generation immigrant. I've done my medical training in India. I've come to this country, and I'm British now. So I'm Indian, but I'm also British. Uh, and in this country, I've spent a long time now in this country. I'm a first generation immigrant, uh, and I have both identities, Indian as well as British. Uh, so that's me in terms of person. And of course, there are layers and layers and layers. And I'm also a husband, father, I've got a son. So all of these identities. But then more fundamentally about myself, thinking of myself in terms of values. Uh, and I guess, and that's where I find common ground. Uh, I value honesty, fairness, equality, and equity, which is slightly different. And I would say I value kindness. And above all, I value something intangible that I struggle to put into words. But to myself, I put it as doing a good thing. So doing good, and that takes many different shapes. Uh, Sometimes it's an internal struggle, sometimes it's an external struggle. Uh, well, it's not an organizational priority, but it's clearly needed. It's going to improve someone's lives, finding a way to do it. So doing good, and I hold that as a value. So everything I do, I'm in this profession for doing good. So if I see an opportunity for doing something good that will have an impact on someone's life and better someone's life in some way, I see it as a priority. It needs to be done. Find a way to do it. Uh, so that's how I see myself. So inevitably, we all have layers, and those are the layers that I see in myself. So I'm a BAME person, but I'm a doctor. I'm a professional, and I have certain values which are common with the values, I guess, of a large majority of people working in the NHS. That is what brings us together. So that's how I see myself, and that's how I find common ground with everyone else.